Alright, hello and welcome to Catherine Holds Crochet. My name is Catherine. I'm happy you've joined me. And today I am going to be making a birthday gift for my mom. Her birthday is in a couple of months, and so I got really excited and wanted to do something big for her. So I made some art. It was originally based off of an art piece, an abstract cubist art piece that I found online, and I kind of traced over it and changed the colors up a bit and made it into a stitch fiddle pattern so that I could make it into a tapestry crochet project. It's been a long ways. I'm filming this at the end, so it's already done. But it's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of bobbins. But I'm glad that it's over. But it's just beginning for you. So I'll be showing you the stitch fiddle program and essentially how I did it with tracking bottom to top the whole project. Of course, showing unboxing the yarn, how I made the bobbins. I definitely learned some things when making the bobbins because I didn't want to go out and buy them, so I made them. And then going through the whole process day by day, progress shots and things like that. And then I ultimately decided that I wanted to make it a little bit nicer because I finished a lot faster than I thought I would. So I gave it a backing with an interfacing, and all of that will be in the video ahead. So just stick with me and I hope you enjoy. Thank you. So this is me unboxing the yarn. I waited so long for this to get here. It took like 2 weeks to get delivered because there was like a huge sale, so they were backed up. But anyway, here I am unboxing. This one, for some reason, the label fell off and I couldn't find it for a minute, and then I looked under and I found it. And a couple of the labels were falling off, but I mean, it's cheap yarn. Who can really judge? So I just reviewed all the colors. I didn't write down all of the names. And then here I am making the bobbins. I went with that one design first, and I just scored the chipboard with my thingy, and because it wasn't strong enough to cut all the way through. So I just scored it, and then I marked up how I wanted it, and then cut it up with scissors. And then scored it some more to do the guidelines for the rails on each side, and cut it up like that. And then after this, I tried to show one-handed how I made the thing. So that was the second type of bobbin I made. This was the first one. The first ones were pretty hard to make, but the second ones were much easier. And I just loaded them all up with yarn, and then they were all good to go. And this is what I had before starting. I just did the base colors and added as I went along. Okay, I am one row in and I am already in over my head. Okay, so each row is taking me about 20 minutes, but I think it's going well. Alright, so that's a wrap on day one. I got 7 rows done, thanks to my lovely assistant being very cooperative and not walking all over my yarn. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get some more rows done tomorrow. I'm going to bed. Alright, so I forgot to take any kind of progress photos last night when I was done crocheting. So I'm gonna start crocheting for day 3, and this is where I left off on day 2. Alright, end of day 3, 2, 3, 3. I got to row 23.
starting to actually look like something. So that's something.
Alright, so here we are on day 4. I've gotten to row 32. Yeah, I think this is gonna be row 32. And it's starting to look like something. You can see this section right here with the nose has been the most frustrating part of this, because there's all these black lines next to each other, and remembering which one needs to stop and which one needs to start on each one was definitely a struggle. I just finished these blue pieces here, which is why they don't have yarn coming out of them. But yeah, so we're making really good progress. I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing it come out, and it's gonna be great. I really feel like we're making some good progress. I spent way too long doing this delicate organization of the things, because they get so tangled when I'm actually doing it. It's crazy. But yeah, luckily my dog's being good. He's not walking right on top of them, as you can probably see. It's my little assistant. But yeah, we'll check in later. Okay, so I've encountered a problem. Don't know if it's clear. I tried to draw a line where the issue seems to be, and something in here is fucked up, and it's really hard to show because there's a lot going on here. But essentially, I'm supposed to have this stitch. I'm supposed to have 2 black here, and it's supposed to come in one from the tan here, so that I can add like this kind of pinky color where this stitch is currently right here. But the numbers don't work out, so it goes, should have 5 peach, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 of this color, which I think I called taupe, and then 2 black, 2 red, 5 rust, 3 black, and that's all good. Everything's going good. And then 3 blue, and then 2 black, a peach, and 4 taupes. And it's supposed to end right here, so there would be a taupe, 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 peach, black, black. And I can't figure out where the fuck I went wrong. Excuse my language. So I'm gonna sit here for a second and figure it out. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do an increase. So I'm gonna put 2 charcoal black in the same stitch, because I had to have dropped a stitch somewhere. I just had to have. So I'm just gonna do that, and then do another black there, and then that way I can put the peach, and then the 4 taupes, and everything will be fine. I really hope that this doesn't mess with everything from here on out. I fucking found it. I found where I went wrong. I put 8 on this row, and
So that's why I had to put 3 instead of 4 over here. So, just like I did an increase over here to fix, or over here to fix the numbering of the black, I'm going to do a decrease here so that everything has the right numbers. It's fixed! Hopefully.
No. Back up. Oh god.
Sure, you can sit there.
Okay. So this is how far I've gotten. 38 rows down. It's really coming along. So far I haven't made any catastrophic mistakes. I've definitely learned some things. And I'm probably gonna finish this a lot faster than I thought I was going to. So that's cool. Alright, so I'm done for the night. So this is how far I've gotten today. I got up to row 46 and it's really starting to look good. I realized that I don't have white. I thought I had white. I don't have white. I didn't buy white. So I'm gonna have to find some white. And it's not a lot, but I still need it. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Pretty soon, actually.
So for day 6, I decided to do a demonstration of a row in speed form. So you can see me grabbing each bobbin and then doing the stitches and then wrapping it back up. And this probably took me 20 minutes in real time. By the end of it, I had gotten each row down to like 15 minutes or so. So this was just a very compressed version of that. Alright, so I finished this last night and now I'm just going to go around and add a single crochet border and then figure out what I want to do for the actual border. I want to do something kind of fancy. I want to make it look like an actual like art piece in like a gallery. So you know those like kind of fleur-de-lis picture frames? I kind of want to replicate that but with this charcoal yarn here. So, yeah, sorry for the smash cut there. I finished the border, and there's the first reveal. I was inspired by TL Yarn Craft's temperature blanket reveal to do it this way, and I think it turned out well. And here I'm just going through and trimming up some of the longer ends, and you may be thinking, what are you going to do with all those ends? Well, I'm going to just cover them with interfacing because I don't really want to weave in 200 ends. So yeah, I sewed in the dowel. I started out every stitch and then I got tired of that, so I did like every 3 or 4 stitches by the end of it because it's going to be covered up by interfacing and fabric, so it doesn't have to be that secure. Then I just started ironing down all of the interfacing, and I made a mistake, and ironed it to my quilt, so you'll see that in just a minute here. But everything went pretty smoothly. It's so meditative getting to watch myself iron. I discovered it was fucked up, and then I decided I'm just gonna finish this part and then deal with it in a minute. So here I am adjusting the camera so you can see and dealing with the problem. So after this, I decided that I needed to trim the inner facing so that that wouldn't happen again. So I just went around and trimmed all of the sides to make sure that they could not stick to the quilt. I learned my lesson with that one, and I came back and finished it up. With the interfacing done, I didn't get any footage of me trimming the interfacing somehow. I don't know how that happened, but here I am peeling the interfacing off, trimming a little bit off the back so I could peel the other piece because they were a bit overlapped. Very carefully removing the paper, and at this point it was still warm, so it was kind of sticky. And I started with ironing it from the front, and I went around and I did everything, and the yarn was not handling the heat well, and I eventually realized it wasn't even sticking. It wasn't melting the interfacing at all, even after I went through and did all that. So I realized that, and I decided to flip it over and start doing it from the back, and that worked much better. I was fighting the wind a little bit, but this worked much better because the fabric's so much thinner from this end. And I'm just using like a piece of sheet that had gotten a tear in it. So it was scrap fabric anyway, and didn't spend a dime. And here I am trimming the fabric off of the side. I did get footage of this. So mesmerizing. And voila! Finished piece right there. It looks wonderful. Not to pat myself on the back or anything.
Alright, so that was the final reveal. I am also going to put a couple of hooks on the back for hanging it up. The dowel is going to help with stability in that aspect, so I hope it hangs well. I haven't tried to hang it yet, but I'll probably put something in there at the end if I can hang it up, that is. I learned a lot of lessons making this project. Number one, the bobbins, the way that I first designed them with the long, straight, and like the hook pattern, it was great in theory, but terrible in practice because, I'll just show you. So these are the bobbins that I had made originally for most of my big colors, and then I eventually switched them all over to the dog is messing stuff up in there, to these type of bobbins by the end, because they were just so much easier. Because the way that it goes, so say we got these two things hanging next to each other, and they're, let me make this one higher, so, and they're just hanging here, hanging out. Well, as I bump the project around and you know, do all that, these would get tangled, and not just like twisted tangled, like this is in the bobbin. So then I would have to go through and not only find the color that I want, but also pick it out of the other bobbins that it was stuck to. And also these, they would just, you bounce them around, they just fall. They just fall. And so these were great in theory, they did not work very well at all. Whereas these were so nice. They're just so simple. It's just a piece of cardboard with a little slit in it, and they're just perfect. So you wind them up nice and neat, and then when you're done with your working end, you just boop, tack it in there, and then it's not gonna come loose. Well, it will if you shake it violently like that, but under normal circumstances it won't come loose. And it's a lot more compact too, because even if this gets like really full, it's very compact, whereas these are super long and they've got like the hooks on the bottom and on the top. So yeah, I learned a valuable lesson with that one. The other thing that I learned is that when I was winding up the bobbins, it was really advantageous to try and go through and count how many actual stitches I would need for each bobbin, because I ended up, like you see here, I ended up with a bobbin that has a lot of yarn on it, but it's not like a usable amount, and so I'll have to use it for projects that are just kind of scrap projects that I can either wind these together with other yarn and it's not like a huge thing, or just like have the tails be out. Like for a lot of the scrap yarn, I made this, which is like a yarn cozy, I guess. So I like caking up my yarn when it gets to a certain point. I like working off the factory skein when possible, but when it gets too small, I like caking up my yarn. Open this up, and I really like working with it like this. But this tail on the outside, it's constantly getting unraveled, so I make these little yarn cozies, just simple circles, double crochet and one chain all the way up. So I do like probably 3-4 rounds of increases, and then like 4, 5 or 6 or so rows up, and then I can just take the cake and put it in the thing, and then I have a thing right here that I weave in and out of the thing, and then it's hard to show, and I just cinch it up nice and tight, so I've got the working end coming out, and then that way I don't have to worry about the whole thing unwinding, and I can still pull from the middle and it keeps everything nice and tidy. Point of bringing this up, as you can probably see, I used a lot of the scrap yarn from this project, and because this is it's not an aesthetic piece, it's not something that I want to, or I need to look pretty necessarily, I don't really care. that it has all these ends poking out. I could not care less. So it's perfect for scrap yarn like this when I just have, like, legit this much yarn. So anyway, bonus craft for you. So yeah, that was the other lesson I learned. Anything else? Oh yeah, with the interfacing. So I think I might point out in the video where it happens. I haven't edited anything yet, but I might point out at that point in the voiceover. But I was outside at the picnic table, because the picnic table is bigger than the table inside, and I had laid out a quilt, like, bottom side up, because it was nice and cushy, and it's a picnic table, so I wanted, like, something to smooth it out. Well, I didn't trim the interfacing before I started ironing it, and so I ironed the interfacing to my very nice quilt. I still have to deal with that. I still have to get the stuff off of there. Luckily, it didn't get, like, fully melted on there, so I could probably pick it off with it, like, an X-Acto knife and some patience. But yeah, so that's another lesson I learned, is when I do the interfacing, which I think I also show this step later when I had like a corner that kind of needed some, because the sheet wasn't big enough to fit everything all in one, so I had to do, like, the big one, and then a smaller one, and then a smaller one. Well, with the smaller one, what I did is I took an area that I knew was safe, and I lined it up, and I just stuck that area, and then I flipped it over, and then I trimmed it really close, because that way I knew exactly how much I needed. And then we didn't have any accidents after that, so that was good. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Next time, I'm not gonna do a border as fancy as I did. I know it's just like zigzags in the end, but if I'm gonna do a border next time, I think I'm gonna have it be, I think I'm gonna starch it or do something else, because cutting the interfacing in the zigzag and then having to come back and cut the fabric in the zigzag, I think I can show it to you. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself, but, like, you can see it. You can see it when it's just kind of there. Like, you can see it, and it's so tiny that I can't really go through and, like, snip it all, because it's like, it just doesn't snip. It's too thick. So I think next time, if I do something like this, I'm going to do the fancy border, but I'm just gonna put backing and interfacing on the actual tapestry project itself, so that I don't have to go through all that. So yeah, I think that's all that I've learned. I do think my way of sewing the dowel in under the interfacing is gonna work really well, because, like, it's in there. It's not coming out. So it's a good point to be able to attach things to. I think I'm gonna get, like, actual picture hangings. I don't know how to describe them. I can probably put a picture here, but I'm gonna put those on either side, and then have, like, an actual, like, artist wire between them, so that it can be hung like a picture. So yeah, that was basically all. So I appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This one has been a long one, so I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked getting to see
8 days
of work compressed into X amount of minutes, and I just hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and stay crafty. Hello and welcome to Catherine Hold Crochet. I'm Catherine. Of course. As soon as I start filming, the dog's gotta freak the fuck out.